course of time on this Aaron Rodgers situation, one that really goes back to the day of the draft when Adam Schefter, who joins us here, broke in on NFL Live with the huge news that Rodgers is extremely disgruntled in Green Bay, and he doesn't seem to have become gruntled anytime between then and now. So a week away, Schefty, where do we stand with Rodgers and the Packers?
To that point, Greeny, at some point this offseason, the Green Bay Packers offered Aaron Rodgers a 2-year contract extension that would have tied him to Green Bay for 5 more seasons, made him the highest paid quarterback and player in all of football. And Rodgers did not take the offer. And right there is the proof that you need to know that this is not about money. This, over the course of the next week and the discussions that they will have, the two sides, is about figuring out a way that Aaron Rodgers would be willing to show a camp so that he could eventually leave the Green Bay Packers. And as we mentioned, he's got 3 years left on his contract. Can the two sides figure out a way whereby maybe they could knock off 2 years of that contract and allow Aaron Rodgers to leave Green Bay after the season? And would that be enough to bring him to camp next week? That's the big question in my mind over the course of the next week. Can they figure out a way to bring him in, to get him out of there eventually? And I think one is tied to the other. His arrival is contingent upon his potential departure. I think either way, if and when Aaron Rodgers does show up for this season, this certainly looks like it will be his final season in Green Bay, with him expected to leave after this season, if he even shows up to play this season, which I think both sides still are trying to figure out and piece together. And I've been told that Aaron Rodgers is all over the place, and this changes his mind quite often about what he does and doesn't want to do.
Let me be clear, that's sort of developing news or a breaking story, however we want to describe it, from Schefty tweeting 4 minutes ago. This offseason, the Packers offered Rodgers the 2-year extension that would have tied him to Green Bay for 5 more years. Rodgers declined the offer. Proof it's not about the money. So that is new information with us here this morning on Get Up, and new to our program as well. Again, Dan Orlovsky jumps in here. Dan, what is your take on all this?
Well, where's the line of demarcation for both parties, right? Like, this sounds like a divorce settlement, and when neither party is going to get exactly what they want, but where is like the, hey, we're not moving unless we get something above this line? If the Packers are going to go, well, we have to get something for Aaron Rodgers. We're not just going to let you walk out the door when you want and give you what you want. And then Aaron Rodgers is like, I know you're not going to just trade me to the team that I want to go to right now, but you got to give me something. So like, where are both of these situations, or both of these parties, where's the line that they say, we'll work with you above this, but we won't work with you below this? And when does that happen? Like, when do both of these parties, like, in many ways, grow up, be adults about it, be 20, you know? Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to get exactly what you want, but you both want something. What is that line?
The divorce analogy is actually an interesting one, and you know the fans are almost like the kids. Like we got to make sure the kids are okay and all of this. Because if you're the fans watching this thing play out, we got all these issues between mom and dad, and someone's got to be looking out. Jeff Saturday, from where you sit, what do you take from it?
Yeah, Aaron doesn't care how he gets out. He just wants to get out. And I think that's going to be the negotiation. I don't think it's going to happen when training camp starts. I think it will get into early part of the season, and the Packers will realize, hey, listen, he's not messing around. He's not coming in. Then the negotiations will really begin. And they can structure it however they want. He can't go to an NFC team. You know, we're going to get this to Dan's point about what they want, what he wants. But ultimately, I think he wants to hear from them. You're going to let me out after this year. I'll come play. I'll play. Hopefully we win a Super Bowl together, and then I'm going to ride off in the sunset and go play somewhere else. I think it doesn't matter how. He just wants to know there is an end after this season.
Mike T, if you're the general manager there, you're the person trying to work this out from that side, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give Aaron Rodgers to the point that Schefty and Dan are making that will be over that line and will get him in?
Well, until the regular season, I'm doing everything I can to make him a Packer for life. So that's my primary area of focus. Once he starts missing regular season games, as Jeff alluded to, that's when things start shifting. And again, we don't have to go back almost 20 years with Carson Palmer when he missed almost 2 months of the season and he forced a trade from the Bengals to the Raiders. And once a player misses regular season games, that's the paradigm shift, in my opinion. And that's when I start thinking about, okay, can I trade him to the AFC? Can I shorten the contract and then maybe franchise him after the season and make a trade. So that's why I think the next month is really consequential. What does Aaron Rodgers do? Is he actually prepared to miss regular season games? Because that will dictate the reaction from the Packer front office.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, and listen, to the earlier point about, the divorce and what the kids, this would allow the fans to see from the Green Bay Packer front office, he's not going to play for us. So now we have to make a move, which I think would settle the fan base as well when they realize he really is dug in. He's not going to play games for us. I think that levels the playing field. So now all the fans can't turn directly on, Mark Murphy and the entire front office of the Green Bay Packers. It gives them an out. But regular season games are when it's going to matter. This preseason stuff, nobody cares. When it gets down to make or break time early in the season, that's when things are really going to move.
And I'm trying to read your face. What is it telling us?
Well, if this organization has been around Aaron Rodgers for 15 plus years and they don't know him and how serious he is by now, then that's another sign that how poorly they've managed their relationship. Like, they've got to wait till week 1 or week 2 to see if Aaron's actually serious or is he calling our bluff? Like, that is probably the starting point of why this is where it is fundamentally they don't understand relationship communication. They don't need to wait till guys, Aaron Rodgers is serious. Like, Aaron Rodgers is serious about this. They don't need to wait till week 1, or at least in my opinion, to figure out, is he really going to sit out or not?
Why, Jeff? Why don't you buy that?
Yeah, because you can't force the hand, right? You can say, we've seen guys threaten all the way in. You have to really put his feet to the fire if you're the front. Because if you give him up now and he goes somewhere and tortures you in the next 2 or 3 years, you can't fall back on hey, we did everything. We even started games. Jordan Love started 2 or 3 games. We knew Aaron's not going to come back. At least it gives you an out. Right now, it all falls to your point. Poor communication, poor relationship management, all those things. At least this gives them some type of break for the fans and the other players, the Devontae Adams, the guys they're trying to keep in the organization. We did everything we could do. We offered the extension. Give them something to arm themselves for the future of this organization. You don't want to just cut bait as training camp starts. Look, the dude knows the offense. You can't tell me he needs this time. When he gets there, if they can help you be solid, man, you take the risk of going into the regular season. Do not do it now. I mean, my goodness, you've lost everything if that's your case.
All right, everybody, hang on. I have to take a break here. We will come back much more on this as the hour continues. Again, Adam Schefter with the news just in the last few minutes that there was a 2-year contract extension offered. It was on Twitter here this offseason, a 2-year extension that would have tied Rodgers to Green Bay for 5 more years, made him the highest paid quarterback and player. He declined. Further proof it's not about the money. And so it goes. We continue with that and more in a few minutes. Coming up, so many questions as the Cowboys head to Cali today. Is Zeke past his prime? Is the offense overrated?